Imagine holding a map that's been lost for millennia. A blueprint to unimaginable wealth from civilizations untouched by modern hands. What if I told you such maps exist, hidden within the fabric of India's ancient past? This isn't a movie plot. It's the real-life thrill that gripped Detective Arjun Mehra the moment he stumbled upon whispers of India's long-lost treasure maps. These weren't just old pieces of parchment. They were fragments of history, encrypted clues left behind by forgotten empires waiting for someone clever enough to decode them. Join us as we dive into this incredible quest, a modern-day treasure hunt that could rewrite history. Arjun had always been fascinated by India's great ancient civilizations, the Mauryas, the Guptas, the Cholas. We all know their names. But what he discovered went far beyond the familiar pages of history books. For centuries, scholars have whispered of hidden kingdoms, societies that thrived and then vanished, leaving behind almost no trace. The allure was irresistible. What if these civilizations possessed knowledge or even riches that modern eyes have never seen? Discovering them would be monumental. So Arjun dedicated himself to the search. He spent countless hours in dimly lit archives, poring over dusty tomes, chasing down faint references to cities that had vanished from historical records. Every line of text, every faded inscription hinted at something extraordinary. He found evidence of advanced knowledge encoded in symbols, cryptic patterns, and even the layout of long-gone cities. He realized these ancient people hadn't just mapped their territories. They had mapped their fortunes, and he was determined to be the one to follow their trail. The first real breakthrough came not from a physical map, but from the whispers themselves, the legends passed down through generations, obscure oral traditions, and enigmatic passages in ancient texts. These stories, often dismissed as folklore, all pointed toward hidden riches. Arjun began to connect the dots. He found tales of kings who buried their wealth beneath sacred groves inside hidden temple chambers, and even under the very bedrock of entire cities, leaving behind intricate clues for those who could understand them. One legend spoke of a place called the Golden Labyrinth, a network of secret tunnels deep beneath the Ganges plains, marked only by the alignment of celestial symbols on specific nights. Another told of a sunken city, its wealth accessible only to those who could interpret the geometric patterns carved into its surviving stone structures. Arjun had a revelation. These so-called treasure maps were not just pieces of paper. They were complex, multi-layered instructions woven into stories, architecture, and even the stars, waiting for the right mind to come along and piece them all together. Driven by this new understanding, Arjun knew he couldn't do it alone. The clues were ancient, but the tools to find them had to be modern. He assembled a dream team of researchers, archaeologists, and technologists. This wasn't going to be your typical dig with shovels and brushes. They brought in the heavy-duty tech. They used LiDAR scanning to peer through the thick, impenetrable canopies of India's jungles, revealing the faint outlines of structures hidden beneath. They launched drones to map inaccessible, treacherous terrains, charting every hill and valley with pinpoint accuracy. High-resolution satellite imagery was used to detect anomalies in the landscape's subtle patterns on the ground, invisible to the human eye, that hinted at buried ruins. And slowly, miraculously, lost worlds began to emerge from the data. Patterns of ancient streets, crumbled walls, and forgotten structures materialized on their screens, pointing the way toward concealed chambers and forgotten vaults. Each discovery, each piece of data, brought them one step closer to understanding the intentions of civilizations that had vanished thousands of years ago. Every stone, every symbol was no longer just a relic. It was a critical piece of a colossal puzzle, guiding Arjun and his team through layers of history toward something truly extraordinary. But as the team dug deeper, physically and digitally, Arjun started to realize that the treasure they were hunting might not be what they initially expected. It wasn't just about gold, silver, or jewels. Some of the clues, once deciphered, pointed to something far more valuable: knowledge. They found evidence of incredibly sophisticated irrigation systems far ahead of their time that allowed civilizations to flourish in harsh environments. They uncovered traces of early forms of metallurgy, complex alloys, and forging techniques that shouldn't have been possible back then. Even the architectural layouts of the cities themselves contained encoded principles of sustainable living and urban planning that we are only now rediscovering. Each map fragment, each decoded symbol, wasn't just a guide to material wealth. It was a window into the brilliant minds of ancient India. It revealed their ingenuity, their philosophy, their science. The thrill of the hunt shifted, was no longer just about unearthing riches. It was about uncovering lost stories, understanding forgotten cultures, and piecing together humanity's own missing chapters. The maps were guides not just to treasure chests, but to a wealth of knowledge that could redefine how we view our own past and, perhaps, even our future. For Detective Arjun Mehra and his team, this incredible adventure has only just begun. The maps they've partially decoded promise so much more than a few hidden vaults. They hint at a living legacy, a grand treasure hunt that could span generations. As new technologies continue to emerge and more ancient clues are deciphered, the expedition will go on. It's become a continuous dialogue between our present and the distant past. Reflecting on their journey so far, Arjun realized the greatest discovery wasn't the gold or the jewels they might one day find. It was the stories, the knowledge, and the sheer ingenuity of civilizations that had once thrived, leaving just enough breadcrumbs for those curious enough and daring enough to seek them out. The lost treasures of India are still out there, waiting. Not just as riches to be claimed, but as powerful revelations of humanity's own forgotten brilliance. The quest continues, and who knows what they will uncover next. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey into the past. If you found this story as fascinating as we did, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell so you won't miss our next adventure. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Till next time, keep exploring.